where does your worth and value come from? Who actually defines that for you in your life? If the answer is anyone but you, chances are you're doing it wrong.
No, you're doing it all wrong.
And you're often going to find yourself unhappy, unfulfilled, and not living your best life. When you know your worth and what you bring to the table, no one can mess with that, and no one can mess with you.
You got nothing. Nothing!
So anyways guys, in today's video I'm here to tell you guys why you need to start understanding your own self-worth and start valuing yourself at a much higher level, because otherwise you're going to be leaving this up to people and things that are out of your control and you're going to be unhappy as a result. So let's get to the video now to find out more. What's happening guys, Jared Weiss back here with another video on the Jared and James channel. If you guys didn't know, that must mean that you're not subscribed to the channel, so you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, be sure to leave a like, drop a comment, let me know what you guys think of this video. Follow me on every platform I post regularly everywhere, so check me out wherever you guys listen to content, I'm there. So for today's video, we're going to be talking about this idea of self-worth and making sure that you understand that the only person who above all needs to be defining your self-worth and your value in life as a person is you. That has to be coming from you.
Then the only person standing in your way is you.
Me?
Get him, lads! Yeah!
It can't be coming from things that are way beyond your control. Of course, there are situations where looking to others can be valuable, but like we're going to get into that a bit later. So to start off with, where do you place your value in? And where does your validation truly come from? Is it tied to things that are outside of or beyond your control, which are always going to end up leaving you unhappy, unfulfilled, and wanting more? What things am I talking about? Some of these things that are outside of our control are things like people's opinions about us, how many followers you have, how many points you're scoring, how many views you're getting. All those things are bonuses, but like as far as I can tell, those are beyond our control. We have no direct control over any of those things. Of course, our actions are going to influence certain aspects of those things, but like we don't have direct control over them. So by placing our self-worth and our value in those things, we're going to be in for a topsy-turvy ride, and it's not going to end up benefiting us in the long run. As I spoke about during one of my recent videos, people are always wondering, how is it that I always seem to be so happy and bright and optimistic despite my challenging circumstances?
What are you smiling about?
It's like some people out there may wonder, how can I be just as happy when I have some posts or some videos that are only getting 5 views as the posts that get hundreds or thousands of views? Now, of course, I love it when I am receiving those external bonuses. I love it when I'm getting tons of followers, or when I'm scoring tons of points, or when I'm receiving all this outward success, when I'm receiving all this love from everyone. But my whole thing is that I always make sure to remind myself that those things don't define me. They don't define who I am. I'm no less of a person when I make a post that I'm proud of that only gets 1 view or 2 views or 5 views or 10 views or however many views it is, as the person who gets 1 million views. Because as far as I see it, I think all my posts deserve millions of views, and I'm constantly reminding myself of this, that as long as I'm putting forth my best effort, then the rest is beyond my control. And so therefore, I can't allow my self-worth and my evaluation of myself to be defined by these things, by these aspects that are beyond my control. With everything I've been through when it comes to all my health challenges over the past several years, and my whole healing journey that I've been on, and seeing all that I've overcame, if I place my self-worth on any of these petty things, and any of these numbers or arbitrary things, statistics, that people use to define themselves by, I'd be doing myself a major disservice. And I totally get it. We all struggle with this. We're all in the whole social media culture. We're all in this whole generation of over comparison. But like, as I've learned, comparison is often the thief of joy, and it can be used for good purposes, but like oftentimes we have to remember that we're on our own path. We need to run our own race. We shouldn't even be worried about what everyone else is doing or how successful everyone else's life looks on social media. We need to be more focused on creating our own happiness and running our own race and doing things because we enjoy them. The more you're worried about what this person's doing or what that person's doing,
I don't know, I mean, she's so weird.
She's so pathetic.
The more you're going to be hurting yourself, and you're going to be trying to achieve things before they're ready for you, before the time is right for you, and you're going to end up getting hurt in the long run. So let's just say I make a post, I post a video that I worked on for hours and hours, and it doesn't do well views wise. So maybe I'll be upset about this for a few minutes. I'll allow myself that grace period where I'm caught up in pleasing my ego and wishing that that post could have gotten millions of views, or could have gotten more views than it did. But then it's like, I've been happy with this in the past. I've been able to succeed and thrive when my circumstances weren't ideal in the past. I've been able to have some of the best times in spite of my tremendous challenges in life, so why can't I do the same thing now? So then I move on and I remind myself that I'm freaking awesome, what I'm doing is amazing, and therefore the amount of views I get or the amount of points I score or any of these things doesn't define me. That's not who I am, that's just what I'm doing. When you no longer need external validation to know that what you're doing is special, that makes you free to keep going, doing what you love, and that also makes you dangerous because you're a threat to everyone who's telling themselves that their numbers define them, that how much money they have in their bank account is who they are, that how many views they're getting is a reflection on their self-value. When everyone out there is relying on external validation for happiness or value,
You complete me.
but you can be happy and fulfilled regardless of your circumstances. This puts you a level above them. In some ways, it actually makes you a threat to them, but like a positive for yourself. And in the end, you're going to be the one who receives more of those things most likely, or at the very least, you can be much happier as a result than the person who's always waiting on someone else to tell them how good they are, or waiting for the algorithm to reward them to be happy. Once again, when you know your self-worth, no one can mess with you.
Dun, 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 can't touch this.
Taking this one step further, tying this into my whole speech challenges that I've been facing over the past several years as a result of my life-threatening illness, and have been on my whole healing journey, my whole holistic healing journey as a result. But I think a lot of people are often wondering, how can I be so happy and so good at getting out my message in spite of these challenges? Because I think what's happening is that a lot of people don't see themselves as being able to do the same. A lot of people aren't the alchemists that I am. A lot of people aren't able to turn a bad situation into gold, or to see their obstacles as the way.
This is the way.
See their challenges as things that can be overcome every day. And a lot of people would most likely fall apart and crumble
Parts, man. I need parts.
You don't look that bad.
if they had to deal with the speech issues that I've been dealing with for the past several years. And this frustrates them because they wouldn't be able to keep speaking and living freely as I do, as if nothing happened, as I've gotten myself to this point. Although of course it was definitely an uphill battle to ultimately get myself to this point. And so whenever I receive one of these negative comments talking about my speech, I often remind myself that that's because that person wouldn't be able to deal with it if they had this going on. God gave me these current challenges as a way of reminding myself how awesome I am, because I'm actually someone who's able to deal with them. God wouldn't give me more than I can handle, and therefore that's why I have to keep going in spite of the challenges. Whereas other people might be able to talk freely without any impediments. For me, maybe it's like I'm moving a 10-pound weight every time I'm talking. But like, as long as I could get through the conversation and as long as I could convey the message that I'm put here to convey, then I'm being successful and what I'm saying is valuable. It's like, so I know my worth, so nothing you can say about my speech is gonna mess with me. I'm actually doing something like 99% of people out there who don't have any speech challenges. Like I'm actually too afraid, don't have the balls to do. You
make a very good point with that.
Thank you. Yeah. So like I'm actually putting myself out there every day, and I'm like, this actually made me like appreciate like everything that like I'm doing so much more. Man, like it actually shows me like how important like everything that like meaning like you're talking about like actually is. And of course, I'm human, so like sometimes those comments still do hurt every so often, but it's a reminder to myself that I've overcame so much, and a lot of other people wouldn't have been able to handle this challenge. And truthfully, if you're someone who can't appreciate me as I am, then I wouldn't want you in my life to begin with. Once again, I struggled with this for a while, as I've spoken about numerous times in the past. For a while, I was thinking to myself that my story is only valuable when I'm all better, when I'm fully healed. But as my best friend James, one half of the Jared and James channel, even though he hasn't been on in a while, but like we can get him back on soon enough. And also like even when he's not on, he's still a big part of the channel as he's my best friend, and he's a massive reason why I'm able to be the way I am.
It's my team. It's my quarterback.
So anyways, getting back to what I was saying, as James reminded me, first off, no one is ever truly 100% perfect. No one is ever truly 1000% healed, because healing isn't always linear, but it's always happening. We're all going through our own healing process on a daily basis, no matter what current point you're actually in. But he sees how much progress I've made, and he sees me as being all better from where I started. So this actually transformed my own mindset into realizing that everything I'm doing right now is actually just as valuable, if not maybe even more valuable, as opposed to the person who waits until they're all better start living their life again.
No more waiting for the perfect moment. There will never be a perfect moment. The time is now.
Start up their social media account. And as a result, I see it as when this part of my healing journey and when this part of my healing process does ultimately finish up, I'm going to be beyond better because of the fact that I took this time as an opportunity to level up in all areas of my life and to become a stronger, more gritty, more resilient human being while going through these challenges. And I see this all as being part of my divine, God-given purpose. And this talk with James and this whole mindset shift helped me so much when it came to stopping judging myself so harshly. And I started to love myself with my speech challenges just as much as when I didn't have them.
You want to hurt me? Go right ahead if it makes you feel any better. You think what you want about me. I'm not changing. I like me.
Sometimes we have to think to ourselves, how would we talk to one of our friends who's going through this challenging time? And then we have to talk that way to ourselves. We have to be our own best friends. We have to remind ourselves that we need to be part of the solution. We have to be an active supporter of ourselves. Because a lot of us are actually working against ourselves.
Like, I can't do anything wrong.
Nonsense! You do everything wrong. I have no confidence in you.
Throw myself right back down again.
That's the spirit. You suck.
I know.
When we're always judging, when we're harshly criticizing ourselves. And me being a perfectionist and also being a proud perfectionist, as I mentioned on here in the past, sometimes I'm actually my own harshest critic, but I've also come to realize how freaking incredible I am.
I am the greatest.
And a lot of days, like, I'll actually remind myself, I'll look at all the posts I made, I'll look at all the incredible jumps I've been doing, I'll look at my sports performance, or what I'm doing in the weight room. But above all that, I'll look at my transformation as a human being, and I'll see all of the knowledge I've gained, all of the wisdom I've gained, all of the empathy, emotional value I've gained within the past several years, and I'll tell myself that I'm putting forth my best effort every day, so I can't lose this way. And going from the situation that almost ended my life, going from this incredibly difficult, life-threatening illness, and the whole healing journey I've been on as a result, but I'm still here, and I'm getting better, I'm getting there, I'm working towards my goals.
Show me how you live. Show me how you fight.
Let me show you how I fight.
Yeah.
And so, any external circumstances can't define me anymore. I've gone beyond that. Next up, moving a bit further, so when people make fun of my speech, or tell me my content sucks, the best thing to do, the best response, is to say, well, do I love myself? Do I have any issues with the way I sound? Have I been able to still get out my message, even though it might be harder than the average person? Does my inner circle of loved ones have any issues with the way I sound? Or do they love me unconditionally? Do I appreciate my content? Am I putting my best foot forward every day? Then what does it matter what some internet troll thinks of me? What does it matter what some loser who would never be able to overcome any of what I've overcame, what does it matter what they think of me? They don't define me, they don't define my self-worth and my value. Now, don't get me wrong, I've always been a people pleaser, so this has always been a struggle in my life.
People are so afraid of what other people think that they will do whatever other people want, and those people don't care about you and they'll forget about you anyway. If you try to please everyone, you will end up pleasing no one.
I hate displeasing others because of me or because of something that I did, but this is also another huge thing that I've learned in the past few years, is that this is where it's really ultra important. This is so pivotal to look at the circle of people who are around you, because oftentimes this is going to reflect back onto your inner world. Are the people who you're surrounding yourself with always judging you?
Can you not judge me for like 2 seconds?
Because this is often a way that people will avoid judging themselves, or insecure people will judge you because really they're actually upset about something that's going on in their lives, so they end up acting out onto you. And the same thing can be said for people who are jealous of you. As the Bible says though, judge lest not ye be judged. So if you're not willing to judge yourself, or if you're not willing for others to judge you, don't go around judging other people. It's wrong, it makes them feel less, and truthfully, it doesn't elevate you anymore. But so many people out there with unresolved inner issues will take the easy way out and judge you due to their own insecurities.
Hey Gilmore, you suck!
But you can't take this literally. I mean, guys, back in high school, when I was playing all these high school sports, I had so many bad teammates who were always judging me and making me feel like absolutely worthless, making me feel like absolute garbage.
You're just like me. Trash!
And as a result, I started judging myself more harshly. But being a high school kid, I didn't realize that this negativity that was surrounding me, even though this was actually out of my control because I don't choose who my teammates are, but I had to get away from that, and I had to remove myself from that in order to remind myself how amazing I actually was and how amazing I actually am. And the same thing goes if the people around you are often judging others.
Why were you talking to Janice Ian?
I don't know, I mean, she's so weird.
Or if they're talking about others behind their backs. This is often going to make someone like you or me uneasy, or if you only have fair weather friends around you. If the people around you only love you when you're scoring tons of points, or have this many followers, or have this much money in your bank account, then chances are it's time to get a new circle of people around you. Find people who love you unconditionally. These are going to be the best types of people. But keep in mind, this doesn't mean that these people don't hold you accountable, because that's actually something that's also important as well. If, for instance, let's just say you're starting to get lazy, or you're starting to be mean, or you're starting to develop a big ego, having people in your circle who hold you in check and who remind you that that's not who you are is actually very important. And you do need people to hold you accountable and to remind you of your best path.
And I believe in you. You know, some people have no willpower, no brains, no vision. They just drift through life like lumps of crap. You say you're not a loser, Billy Madison. So win.
So, accountability is pivotal, but constant judgment is only going to bring you down. Remove those people who are always judging you, remove them from your life, and watch as your own self-esteem and your own self-worth starts to rise. Know your worth, know your value, and don't settle for anything less than that. And don't settle for anyone who treats you less than that. Hold yourself to the highest standard possible, have people around you who hold you to this high standard, and make sure that your circle is full of people who want what's best for you and who truly believe in you. And this is going to help to remind you of how amazing you are, of how much value you bring to the table. Lastly, it's easy to be happy and hopeful when you have all this outward success, when everyone's treating you like a king. But what about when you're on the come up? Can you still understand how what you're doing right now is just as important as when you're ultimately going to get all that success? Can you still find things to be grateful for? Can you still be happy in spite of the difficult circumstances? Can you still thrive in spite of the lack of external validation? This is where it's so important to take more pride in who you are rather than what you do, because who you are, that you have control over. That's something that you dictate. You can be a nicer, kinder, more hardworking person who treats others well, who loves yourself, who gives 100% effort in everything that they do, but you can't control what others think of you. You can't control the numbers, and those things are always going to leave you wanting more. Those are always going to be living in this lack mindset as opposed to an abundance mindset. When you realize that you have it all right now, you have every characteristic that you need within you to bring about the actions that you're going to need to achieve this massive success, then you've already won. You've won before the success comes, and that's special. So anyways guys, let me know what you guys think of this video. Remember how amazing you are. You don't need anyone to tell you this. You don't need any external validation to tell you this. Make sure you're surrounding yourself with people who remind you how amazing you are and who make you feel grateful to be alive. Take more pride in who you are rather than what you do. What you do is awesome, and I hope that what you're doing is coming from a good positive place, but above all, you dictate the person you are and allow your value and your self-worth to come from that, and you're going to be way happier than the person who's always waiting for this external validation to tell them how great they are. Keep going. I love you guys. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Be sure to drop a like, leave a comment, let me know what you guys think of this video, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.